Okay folks, welcome back. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So I'm going to try and get a top-down view for round 2 of the game and see how that works. I've got a webcam set up in the ceiling and I've gotten as much in as I possibly can into that camera. I'm looking for a better camera, but with the pandemic, webcams are very hard to find. This is a little bit older one, but it looks like it's working. So we're going to try that out, see if you can get a little bit different perspective on the game. So we're going to start round 2. So remember, our CIS stand-ins went first in round 1, which means Republic is going to go first in round 2. Now, when deciding which ship to activate first, you want to consider a lot of things. We measured the last time. We're sure that this ship here can get attacked at long range from the command ship for the CIS. Now, we also have the Nebulon B who can shoot at this raider as well. So they're both in a little bit of trouble. The Nebulon B could shoot at the command ship as well, but we'll have to wait and see. And we also have to remember, so the CIS has a little bit of an advantage here. They can hold one ship to the absolute end. We're going to have to activate everything over here. So what I'm going to decide to do here is we're going to activate this raider over here first, because we have this coming into us. But I'm also doing that for another reason, because I have a squadron command when I activate. If you remember, we also took a squadron token. So that squadron token is going to allow us to activate 2 squadrons. So we have these 2 squadrons here, and we're going to activate both of those. And these guys can go almost any distance we want, but we're just going to activate and get in with these Z95s that are over here. And what I want to do is get them so that they're both engaged with both of them as much as possible. So this is going to engage with both of them. And he's going to choose this. So you move and then shoot with each one separately. So this guy, he's going to shoot at this first set of Z95s here. They roll 4 blue dice. So we'll roll the 4 blue dice, and only hits are going to count. And he got 3 hits. So that's actually going to kill that Z95. So we have our first unit that has been eliminated from the game. Then we're going to take this interceptor, also move it up so that it is engaged. And what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to engage them so that they're as far away from that Nebulon B as possible, so that the Nebulon B hopefully won't be able to flak. Now attack again. We got 2 hits that time. So you might not be able to see, but we have 2 critical hits and 2 regular hits. So he's going to go there. Now there's a lot of picking up of the squadrons. We knew that these were already engaged, so as long as it's close, we're usually okay. We don't get too crazy about that in Armada. Alright, so now we've done our squadron phase in our command. We've lost that token. And now all we have, well, we can shoot. Now there's not anything to shoot at because that squadron's too far away. Raiders don't have red dice, so we can't shoot at the Nebulon B. So all we have left to do is to move. And we are going speed 3. We don't have anything special we can do in terms of yaw or anything like that. And I don't think so. We're not going to be able to get. We don't want to get on this side of the Nebula B, because then we're getting these ships into the fray. We want to try and get as much on that side as we can. But we also don't want to be flying away like that. We want to keep our dice on that Nebulon B as much as possible. I think what I want to do is this, and that's going to put us right face to face. We're going to get those 3 dice from the front, no matter what, from the Nebulon B. And if we're going to take them anyways, I want to just try and make sure that that's all we're really going to take. And by moving up like this, and I'm also hoping that I'm going to block its ability to move, which we'll see coming up here. Okay, so that activation has happened. You can see me on this side. When I go to the other side, you'll only be able to see me from the top down. So now I need to decide which of these 3 ships I want to activate. And I could take a couple of red dice there. The problem being is that Raider has an evade. It actually has double evade, so it's going to be able to cancel 1 dice no matter what anyways. I kind of want to hold off and see where that goes. I'd also like to see where their command ship ends up, because it might move into dice range of these ships. I think what I want to do is go with this Nebulon B that's right here. Even though the ship is activated, it can't do anything more to us. I'd rather activate with this one, do what we can to the Raider. And because it looks like we're going to have to bump, we can probably stay out of range of the command ship. So we're going to activate this Nebulon B. We have a navigate token, and we've set up a squadron command. Now, these interceptors already killed one of our Z95s, so we're going to activate this other one. But we may also, so we can also activate this. So this one's a little out of range, but this squadron we're going to be able to activate as well. So this Nebulon B is Squadron 2. We're going to activate 2. This one will activate first. It has to attack one of those 2 interceptors. I am going to attack this one first, and the Headhunter rolls 3 red. It actually got a double and a single, so it got kind of lucky with its reds, and it was able to take out this interceptor, or the TIE interceptor. Then we're gonna go with this one. We're gonna see. I think we can just get into range. We can definitely get into range of this interceptor. Also going to roll 3 red. Okay, so we got nothing. Now, one thing I didn't use with the interceptors that I'm going to use here is this Z95 has Swarm. Swarm says if you're engaged with a squadron that's engaged with another squadron, you can re-roll 1 die. So I'm going to just take one of these and re-roll it. And it's a blank. We didn't get anything. So that's red dice for you. So one Z95 was able to get a really good shot, kill a squadron. The other one got nothing. But again, that's red dice. Red dice are very bursty. So now we're going to attack. And we can, obviously, we can attack this Raider with our front arc. We don't have its side arc. So you measure arcs from these lines on the chip token. We only have our front arc, which is what that Raider wanted, but that's okay. We have 3 red dice out the front, and we're going to throw those all at the front of the Raider. And another good shot, so we got a double and a single. The red dice only have 1 double, and we've already seen it a couple times, so we're getting a little bit lucky. And we have a blank. So 1, 2, 3. The Raider is too close to use its evades, but it can use its brace. So we're going to use its brace. Brace, you divide by 2 and round up. So 3 divided by 2, 1.5, rounds up to 2. So we're going to take 2 damage, and we have to take that to the front. And then the Nebulon B, we could slow down or speed up. I don't really want to speed up, because if I well, so if I sped up and get up here, I'm going to take a full front shot from that the Victory. I don't really want that. The problem is that means I'm going to have to bump the Raider, and by bumping the Raider, we're each going to take a hull damage. But I think that that's a little bit better than taking that full shot from the Victory. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to stay at speed 2, keep our token. There's nothing that we can do at speed 2 to avoid the collision. So what happens is you try and move up, we can't place, then you move back to the next one, still can't place, then you move back to the original placement, and both ships are going to take a damage card. You place that with the card. Now that ship is done activating. And come over here to the Raider. The Raider did use its brace, so I'm going to flip the brace to red. And now we're going to activate a ship on this side. I think what we're going to do is we're going to activate this other Raider. The other Raider has a nav. Now we also have a nav token. The ship has no shots. There's no squadrons or ships close enough for it to shoot. But when we're moving, we can now use both the nav dial and the token and go all the way from speed 2, which is where we're at, and we're all going to go all the way to speed 4. So we're going to do that. So we're going to get rid of this token, and we're going to go speed 4. And because we had the dial, we do get an extra click as well. Now one thing we want to make sure here, we want to try and stay at long range. And long range is going to be about in this area here. We're going to get an extra click on the end. And we'll move the Raider. So hopefully we're going to be in a better shot to get a good shot for the next turn. And that Raider is done. We will come over to this side. This Nebula B is already activated. We have to decide which ship to activate. We do have a long shot on the command ship over here. We also have a single red dice we can throw at that Raider from this Nebulon B. Now this Raider is already gone, so this ship can wait. So we're going to wait because we're going to get that shot no matter what. We're going to go with the Nebulon B. Now the Nebulon B is going to shoot at the command chip, but we measure dot to dot. There's a dot usually in the center of the arc. You measure dot to dot, and because our firing line goes through the station, we have that shot is obstructed, so that means we're going to lose 1 dice. So we would usually have 3 dice, 3 red dice. We have to lose 1 for the obstruction, and then we're going to attack. We didn't get anything. We got an accuracy and a blank, so that's nothing. That's what red dice do to us. And then we might have a long range shot on this raider to the side, and it looks like we do, and it's not obstructed by the asteroid field. So we're going to take that long range shot. Now we could also potentially shoot at the front, but the problem with shooting at the front is we might be obstructed and then we would lose the dice. So to keep things going quickly, I'm going to go from the side to the side because we know that's not obstructed. We got a critical. Now that's going to go to the shield. Well, so the raider, it's at long range, so the raider is going to use an evade token in order to block the shot. So we're putting pressure on the tokens over there for the raider. And now we have to move. So we are going to stay at speed 2. We're going to come up and we're going to make a slight turn because we want to try and keep our sides, because the Nebulon Bs don't have a lot of, and it's just like the hard cell. Nebulon Bs don't have a lot of shielding in the sides. And we want to protect our sides as much as possible. So we're going to come up here. We're going to land on the station. We don't have any damage cards to hull. Alright, so the Nebulon B is done. Okay, we are going to go with our command ship. It's our last ship on this side. Command ship has a navigate. It already has a navigate token. And we have a medium range shot to this Nebulon B, and we do only have its front arc. So the Nebulon B did well to not expose its sides, which are a little bit harder, which are weaker. I could take a long range shot at this Nebulon B, but it's going to be obstructed by this raider. I would rather take my 6 dice and throw it here than take 2 dice and throw it there. I do have to check for obstructions here because there are a couple of possibilities. The station is not going to be an obstruction. And dot to dot, we're actually not going to shoot through this asteroid. So we are going to have an unobstructed shot right here to the Nebulon B. We don't have any shots out of our sides. These squadrons are not. We only have that shot out of our front. So we're going to take that shot out of our front. This is going to be a pretty large shot. So we have 3 blue and 3 red coming at the Nebulon B's front. And we got 6 hits. It's actually 4 hits and 2 crits. So if we end up going to hull on this, we will do a critical damage. Otherwise, those crits still count as hits. Now the Nebulon B does have double brace. We are going to use a brace, but before we use the brace, we're going to use the evade. The evade at medium range is going to allow us to re-roll one dice. I'm going to have the victory re-roll one of the blue dice. The reason being is we can't have, if we had them re-roll the red, it could get worse on us because they could roll that double. There's no doubles here, and if they were to roll an accuracy after I force them to re-roll with an evade, they can't use the accuracy. So at this point the accuracy is like a blank, and we got the accuracy, so now we're down to 5 damage, which actually, unfortunately, it's not going to really help us much, but you get the point of how that works. So now we're at 5. We're going to brace that 5 down to 2.5, rounds up to 3. So we're going to take 3 damage. We have no way to move it. It has to go to the front. And we are going to avoid hull damage, but we no longer have shields on the front of our Nebulon B. And now the victory has to move. We are going speed 2. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend the dial. We're going to keep the token though. We're going to spend the dial, and we're going to go down to speed 1. We're going to slow down. And we have 1 click naturally. We can add a click here, which we're going to do. We're going to add a click. And we're going to move slowly up and get right into the face of this Nebulon B. And the victory is done. So now we're over to this side again. We are to our last ship, the command ship on this side, our Malevolence stand-in. Has an engineering, which I will take a token for. We haven't been hurt. We're just doing that in order to prepare for rounds where we might be getting shot. We're going to have a couple of different shots here. We do have, so that Raider was not able to stay at long range. It's actually at medium range. So we're going to take a shot at the Raider, but we also have a long shot at this Raider. And we actually have a double arc to the front of the victory. Now the double arc is tough because both shots are going to be obstructed. We're going to lose a lot of dice there. This is obviously an unobstructed shot. This shot here, if I were to shoot at the front, it would be obstructed through this asteroid. If I were to shoot at the side, it is unobstructed. So we are going to first shoot our medium range shot into the front of this Raider. It's going to be 3 red and a blue. And we got a double and 2 hits, including a crit. So the Raider is going to spend an evade and have me re-roll this double. That double can't get worse. So we are now down to 3. And just like the last time, you know, if we got in the blank, it would have been much better. 3, we're going to brace that down to 2, take 2 to our shields in the front. Then we are going to shoot from our side to the side of the Raider, and that's going to just be 3 red because it's long range. We lose the blue. And we have 2 into the side of this Raider. So that Raider has a green evade still, so it will evade one of those, but then it will have to take the other one. you can't brace one, and you can only use a defense token once. So this raider used 2 tokens. You can't if you have double evades or double braces, you can't use them both in the same attack. So now we have to move. We are going speed 2. Now the big thing here is we don't want to bump into our Nebulon B. So we're going to move up to here. Okay, all ships are done. We have to go back over here. We have 2 squadrons left to play from our Republic side, and we have these 2 interceptors. This interceptor actually has a shot on the Nebulon B. So we're actually going to take that shot instead of moving. The interceptor only throws 1 blue dice at ships. I'm going to throw it at the front where they have no shields. And we just got an accuracy, which does nothing. This interceptor is not engaged with anything, so we will move. And we are going to move that interceptor so that it is engaged with both of these Z95s. And that is turn 2. We have completed turn 2. We're going to turn our turn dial to 3. We are going to reset all of our tokens. Any red tokens get turned back to green. I'll get the other side in a minute. And then we reset all of our dials. I'll do that. I'll reset the dials between videos, and we'll see you next time. Again, if these videos are helpful, I really, I'd be happy if you would subscribe, give a like to the video, let your friends know about them, and hopefully you're gonna, learn a lot about Armada and whether it's a game for you or not. I expect in turn 3 we're gonna probably start seeing some ships take some serious damage. Whether they make it through the round or not, I don't know, but I do think we're gonna start seeing some significant damage. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.